Hey guys, today with the topic, the hypergamy of the woman. I have already addressed it in my video, the love between man and woman, and in several passages in other videos, but still often get the question of how it behaves with the hypergamy, what it is, how it is to be assessed and how to deal with it. So let's start from the beginning. What exactly does hypergamy mean? The term in itself means to rise to a socially higher class. In that case, by looking for a man as a woman who has a higher position than you. The demands that a woman makes on a man are always related to his sexual market value, and this is composed of the following pillars: health and appearance, work and ambitions, social status or circle of friends, and hobbies and leisure activities. This is what you will be measured against at all times. Of course, from woman to woman, due to her own tastes, the focus is sometimes more on one pillar and sometimes more on another, and some things are not quite as important as others, but in general there is no woman who is in every respect higher than the man for whom she develops feelings. This can go well for a short time if the attraction is high enough, but sooner or later she will lose her feelings for someone like that. Her assessment is also not based on whether one has already achieved everything in his life that she inwardly desires. It is based on the potential that the man has in every aspect of his life. That is, a man in whom she initially saw the potential to give her complete security and she focused on that. He can lose her over time if he doesn't live up to that potential by sitting on the couch unemployed, eating chips all day and not worrying about anything. This is an extreme example, but this is how the whole thing works. Conversely, someone in whom no one has ever seen much potential can turn into someone who fully exploits his potential. Well, but so much for that. So women always want the best possible man for themselves. Let's take a scale of 1 to 10, not superficially as guys use it in the evening in some drunk bars, but already from the appearance, social status, advantages, earnings, own ambitions, and life experience. Let's say the woman is a 6, that means above average. This woman will always look further up from her desires and not below. She will have the opinion that she cannot accept something below that, because she has so much to offer herself. And if we are honest, that is perfectly fine somewhere. We men want someone who looks up to us. Someone who sees eye to eye within the relationship, but she doesn't have to offer us what we have to offer her in order to maintain our feelings for her. Now I'm not saying it's enough if she's pretty or anything, that has to work on more levels too. But we men love completely unconditionally when it comes to falling in love. We don't leave women when they lose their job, don't have their own life or don't give in the relationship what we were used to a short time ago. We are just a bit more stupid and don't notice when she drops on the scale or stays the same and don't care about her potential at all. For us it is as good as we got to know it. Sure, better is always great, but we don't leave when there is stagnation. Women see it differently. If you met your boyfriend as a woman in college, you will not accept that he remains the eternal student running from one party to the next for the next 10 years, at some point you have enough of it and then you look for an real man who lives up to his potential. And as a man you don't understand the world anymore, because you haven't done anything different than the last 10 years. But before I get lost here, this is hypergamy. Women want someone they can look up to and always the best one they can somehow get and keep. Mostly only get can, hold is then again a whole other story. The question of where this comes from is rooted in our evolution and society. In the past, the best man was needed to be able to produce the best possible offspring and to protect the family. That is so in us and will not change so quickly. What is changing is the fast pace of society and the fact that a woman nowadays has virtually unlimited opportunities to meet men. That doesn't mean that they always have to be good or that she can judge them correctly. But a 4 can try to catch an 8 nowadays because of the competition on the internet, because the competition among men is so damn big. In the past there were maybe 3 options for her in the village, only 2 were interested in her and none of them was more than a 6 and it was not necessary to be more because the competition was not that big. That's when you looked for your best option within your means and today it's exactly the same. And I hear constantly the grumbling that it is to the disadvantage of the men. Yes, due to the jolt in the feminist direction, women get away with a lot nowadays, and this chatter that men should show more feelings and women should be made more equal than men or already are, that's a completely different topic. But what this has led to is perhaps a disadvantage for the majority of people who think it's so unfair and that something has to be done about it. To bring society back to the times when women could not live out this hypergamy, but had to tie themselves down and had hardly anything to say, but if you think that, you are wrong here. My take on the whole thing is to exploit it all mercilessly. You know how it works. How women think. Women want their best possible option. Someone to look up to. Someone who stands firmly in life, knows exactly what he wants, has integrity and can be relied on. So why are there heaps of pussies running around screaming louder than any woman for equal rights, even though women are by and large already more advantaged than men? And I'm not talking about salary negotiations and all that shit, I'm talking about the possibilities women have in love nowadays. The ability to freely choose who they stay with and how high their standards are. If I as a man on my nice scale also only surface scene 1 with 2 points more want to get off words already hard for me. But women are always fishing for women who are far above them in terms of their complete sexual market value. This is the point where you have to start. Make yourself your best possible self in every aspect of your life. Stand out from the crowd. You may never reach 10, but would you rather be a grumbling 5 with a 3 as your wife or a happy 9 with an 8 by your side? As I said, not meant superficially, that can be a 10 for you in terms of looks, but who simply had your children at 30 and therefore gave up her studies and a job. We men don't give a damn about all that, and someone who is a 9 can easily compensate financially. And in the end, the hypergamy of women ensures that both men and women have to make themselves their best possible selves in order to have the chance to have their, in quotation marks, perfect partner. This is not a bad thing, this is simply a win-win situation, and once you get away from how crappy it all is you can do something about it. It's like complaining that the level of professional sports is so high that you could never compete. Instead of whistling you could train. Now the question remains in my eyes, are women forced to give in to their hypergamy, and is it inevitable that they will in any case? So if you don't live up to your potential, there is a possibility that she will stay with you. And, yes, there is. There is. Just like you have to suppress your impulse to nail every woman who is interested in you at any time, a woman in love doesn't see this option of looking for someone else at first. The problem is the feelings themselves. Women don't think that nothing is going on with you for a long time and that they might need a new one. They are together with you for a long time, do not want to give up you and that, and are just as desperate as you when suddenly their feelings are gone. But that is what hypergamy triggers in her. She loses these feelings over time and can no longer justify being with you to herself. There are women who stay with you and hope for better times or want everything to be as it was. But the tendency then is that they act according to their feelings, and if they are gone, the women are also gone. This is a long struggle for them, as it is for you, but they can't win it if you don't act correctly with the background knowledge about hypergamy or just by chance subconsciously. And very few do. Otherwise the feelings would not have disappeared from the beginning. After the explanation I can imagine that many women will think to themselves, "Nah, so with me it is not so." But what is most women's description of their dream guy? Tall, at least taller than her, intelligent, funny, stands in the middle of life, knows what he wants, open, honest, gives me security. I'm sure I've forgotten a few things, and the list will be longer for some women than they themselves would deserve. But that doesn't matter to us or other men. They give that nowadays, and because of me they should do that. I also do it if I think the woman is worth it to me personally. But don't tell me that you'll find what I just listed on the dating market if you look down. For that, your eyes have to be up, and men, that's where you have to and want to go. Not primarily for the women you could get. But first of all for yourselves. The easier you have it then to find someone suitable, and the more of you would pay attention to it. The sooner no one would have to complain that the world just works as it works. Take care, and until the next video.